I got to ask you about Tesla and Elon. Tesla's still your largest holding. It's up 100% this year. You got a real winner there. Has Elon Musk been able to refocus on Tesla now that he has somebody else running X? Do you have any insight into that or feeling about that?
I think that Elon is a troubleshooter, and the troubles at X are not over yet, of course. We're seeing that in just recent days when they've said, the Israeli conflict and all of the drama around it has caused another hit to advertising revenues. So I think these difficult times, though, spur Elon's creativity. He is a troubleshooter and a brilliant technologist. So we think that each time he does face turmoil like this, that the intensity of his brain cells takes him to new answers. And, we've seen this at Tesla every step along the way. Tesla, now that EVs are scaling and he's got that machine in place, so to speak, we have now the autonomous side. And I think he's really focused on that. So, yes, I think it has his attention. He knows and believes, I think, that they're close to the finish line with this latest software upgrade, so much so that they're now hiring ride-hail experts in different cities around the country. That is going to be a game changer. And we don't think he's lost any focus.
So, Cathie Wood of ARK Invest thinks the Tesla Robotaxis are about to awaken. And you should definitely ignore her and instead just focus on Tesla's short-term gross automotive margins. Some big news out of Tesla today. The new Model 3 is now available to order in the UK and Ireland, two major markets when combined. The rollout slowly continues. Still not available in the United States yet, but obviously this will happen. And when it does, look out. The value proposition on the refreshed Model 3 is just absurd. There is no other way to describe it. Loads of improvements. Roughly 50% of the parts in the vehicle are new. Changed, likely much cheaper. It's probably going to be a much more profitable vehicle than the previous version, despite being much better as well. It's now like a baby Model S Plaid. Crazy performance, many high-end features, and even has the rear screens in the back. Although, as I said, you still can't play Elden Ring. So if you want to play Elden Ring in your Tesla, you still need a Model S or X latest version. For what it's worth, delivery times estimated between January and February next year. This is a good sign. 3 to 4 months out. Same estimates for vehicles available in Australia, which have been available to order for a while. What does this suggest? It suggests there's plenty of orders coming through for these things because the delivery times aren't tomorrow. This is great news. Great news, of course, unless you're BMW, who have just jumped on board finally. Better late than never, but barely. And have now signed an agreement with Tesla to adopt the North American charging standard. This means that BMWs in the US and Canada will get the NACS, as in the Tesla plug port, starting in 2025. Quote, drivers of BMW, Mini and Rolls-Royce EVs in the US and Canada will gain access to designated Tesla Supercharger stations in early 2025. Now, as I mentioned previously, the longer it takes for companies to jump on board, the more screwed they are. If any of these companies had any sense, as soon as the first announcement happened, actually if they had any sense, they would have been the first to have the announcement, but obviously can't expect too much from these dolts. But once the Ford-Tesla partnership was announced, Ford adopting Tesla's charging ports, the charging standard, and gaining access to half, approximately, of the US superchargers, every other automotive manufacturer with any sense at all would have immediately been on the phone. Yo, what's up, Tesla? We want the same deal. Let's go. Unfortunately, we can just see how slow some of these morons move. It's taking months since the Ford partnership was announced. What's taking them so long? Well, this is an insight into how slow these brain-dead companies move and why they're going to go bankrupt later this decade. This is the no-brainer of no-brainers. Yet still, there are some holdouts. It's super embarrassing. Great timeline was posted here by Tesla Chan over on X. Check this out. May 26th, Ford jumps on board. GM, who led and matter, apparently, on June 9th. Then Rivian on the 20th of June. Then Volvo on the 27th of June. Polestar, which is under the same ownership entity, Polestar and Volvo, 2 days later on the 29th of June. Electrify My Arsehole, as in the actual charging network itself, also jumping on board. So even those using the Electrify My Arsehole network will now be able to use Tesla charging standard. Mercedes-Benz on the 7th of July. Nissan on the 19th of July. Honda and Acura on the 18th of August. Now, let's just take a moment here. More than 3 months have passed already from the Ford announcement to where we're up to. The Ford announcement, once more, was in May. We're 5 months later. It's October now. And there's still some companies who haven't jumped on board. Jaguar on the 22nd of September. Hyundai and Kia on the 5th of October. And now, the 17th of October, BMW Mini and Rolls-Royce. I don't want to labour the point, but it is very important. What the fuck were these companies thinking? 26th of May, Ford announces a partnership. Just take a look at this list. It is stunning how slow moving some of these companies have been. And there are still holdouts. It's just, what are they doing? And now more on Tesla's so-called competition. We're looking at wholesale sales, which means vehicles sold to car dealerships, not to customers. For those who don't know, it's a strange, broken-ass business model. But the way most automotive manufacturers report vehicle sales is not when they're sold to a customer, but when they're sold to a car dealership, who then have to sell them on to a customer. But anyway, wholesale sales of the Ford F-150 Lightning have experienced a sharp decline, plummeting by 49% from their peak of 6,857 units in the fourth quarter of 2022 to 3,503 units in the third quarter of 2023. We're looking at cumulative and quarterly number of F-150 Lightning sold since launch. Cumulatively, the light blue line. Quarterly, dark blue. Now, this looks very, very bad. Without any additional information, you might think, oh, there's not as much demand as you might hope. Why on earth are sales collapsing? Did they peak at just over 6,800 in a single quarter? Not quite the story. I actually believe there's fairly robust demand. Now, don't get me wrong. They're never going to be doing Tesla numbers with this thing. But remember, the internal combustion engine vehicle version of this does close to 1 million units per year, about 250,000 per quarter. So what could possibly explain a collapse in wholesale sales of the Ford F-150 Lightning if there is robust demand for these things? Well, turns out some guy who said something about production being hard was right. This from the Ford website. The F-150 Lightning 2022 and 2023 rear light bar lamps recall, which for the record is not an OBS software update. The safety of you and your passengers is key to every vehicle we build. That's why we've issued a recall for some Ford Lightning F-150 Platinum and Lariat model trucks. Certain 2023 and 2022 model years of the F-150 Lightning Platinum and Lariat model trucks may have microscopic cracks in the outer lens of the rear light bar. So, a bit awkward. These things happen. It is what it is. But in February this year, totally separate, Ford Motor has paused production and shipments of its electric F-150 Lightning pickup truck due to a potential battery issue. The EV truck is being closely watched by investors as it's the first mainstream electric pickup on the market and a major launch for Ford. And in August, Ford is restarting F-150 Lightning production after a 6-week factory shutdown due to expansion and retooling. So I thought that this was some important context to add. First quarter of 2023, we got a recall, battery issues, Q3, also a shutdown before resuming. So it's important not to read too far into the details without actually understanding all of the context. This hasn't been Ford ramping seamlessly and smoothly the entire time. That being said, it is kind of embarrassing that a car company who know how to make cars, apparently according to the experts in the automotive industry, especially the automotive analysts, who claimed the competition was coming, now have some data confirming that that guy who said prototypes are easy and production is hard was accurate and correct when he said that. Apparently, just because you've been producing internal combustion engine vehicles for a century does not mean you can magically press the seamlessly ramp production of compelling electric vehicles button and have no problems. Now, these are atrociously low numbers for Ford. Atrociously low. But had there not been shutdowns and recalls, it's likely that we would have seen sequential increases quarter over quarter. That being said, last we heard, Ford's losing about $60,000 on every F-150 Lightning sold. This is a terrible, terrible situation to be in. And you know what's happening in Q4 2023? There's something. I recently heard some guy on Yahoo Finance actually had a hilarious description. He called it a moving shape on wheels or something like that. The Cybertruck deliveries are likely to commence this quarter, Q4, at the exact same time that Ford F-150 Lightning deliveries are going to be in the few thousands for the whole quarter. Now, what's going to be really fascinating is to compare F-150 Lightning deliveries quarterly with Tesla Cybertruck deliveries quarterly. They're going to be starting from almost the same embarrassingly low base. Now, Ford does have a head start. They already have 7 quarters of production experience on this thing. And it doesn't have a stainless steel exoskeleton to deal with. So one thing to keep an eye on, because if Tesla can ramp the Cybertruck at a faster rate than Ford can ramp the F-150 Lightning, this is not going to be good for Ford. They should be making hay while the sun shines, and instead, I don't know, they're jerking off and playing video games. Of course, it's not all bad news in Detroit, especially for electric vehicles and pickup trucks. And oh wait, hang on, I should have read this first. Hang on, what's this say? GM to delay all electric truck production at Michigan plant until late 2025. Wait, let me just do the math here. Late 2023 now, so that's 2 years. 2 years. A 2-year head start for Tesla's Cybertruck deliveries. Geez, this is going to end well, isn't it? Government Motors said Tuesday it is delaying production of all electric trucks at a Michigan plant by at least a year to, quote, better manage capital investments and implement improvements in an effort to make the new EVs more profitable. Oh, God. So, first of all, does anyone remember me pointing out that legacy automotive manufacturers will be constantly delaying things and, in addition, will also be constantly updating, we're increasing our plans and accelerating our investment, rah, 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 rah. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I just, turns out GM are even dumber than I realized. They've just announced they are intentionally delaying production of all electric trucks at Michigan by at least a year, not accelerating, delaying by at least a year to, quote, better manage capital investments. Let's read between the lines here. To try not to go bankrupt in the process and implement improvements in an effort to make the new EVs more profitable. Maybe they've noticed Ford's losing $60,000 per F-150 electric Lightning and thought, we can't really afford that. Or maybe they've finally realized their Ultium battery platform is a piece of shit and needs to change from pouch cells, which I've been calling for a few years. They still haven't done it, but maybe this is a secret way of them making that change without really saying it out loud. Let's find out. GM now plans to begin... Lots of plans. Not much strategy. GM now plans to begin construction of its next generation EVs at Orion Assembly in suburban Detroit by late 2025 instead of next year. The factory currently produces the Bolt EVs, which GM will cease producing at the end of this year. For the record, by the way, GM never made a profit selling Bolts, even though they sold a lot of them, not relative to Tesla, but just in general. They did actually sell plenty of numbers, but they never made any money on these things. Isn't that embarrassing? You did it, Mary. You embarrassed yourself. The delay is the latest sign of potential trouble for the ambitious multi-billion-dollar plans of traditional automakers to move to electric vehicles. Adoption of EVs, which remains costly to produce and purchase, has been slower than many expected. Quote, General Motors today confirmed it will retime. I love this. Retime. Instead of saying delay, retime. This is some corporate wankery right here. I love this. Retime the conversion of its Orion assembly plant to EV truck production to late 2025. To better manage capital investment while aligning with... Oh my God. They're pretending that there's a lack of EV demand. There's less than they thought. Morons. I mean, I can't believe how dumb they are. I was adamant that all legacy automotive manufacturers would do nothing but accelerate their plans. They're slowing down. Holy shit. I underestimated their idiocy. In addition, we have identified engineering improvements that we will implement to increase the profitability of our products, the company said in a statement. Now, I just want to say something. Here's Tesla's approach. Design the product, design the manufacturing system as best you can, start producing the product, and then constantly iterate. Find new ways to improve things, to delete parts, processes to make them more profitably. Implement those changes as soon as possible. Never-ending process. Meanwhile, GM haven't made shit. Instead, they're just, I had a better idea for how we can make this even more profitably. They're not actually learning by doing. They're learning by hypothesizing. Now, call me crazy, but I think the real-world experience counts for a lot more than plans to make your vehicles more profitably. Maybe I'm just crazy. Or maybe they're busy waiting for the Cybertruck to come out to tear it down to try and copy one. The change in plans is not connected to the company's ongoing contract negotiations with the UAW, according to a GM spokesman. However, the contentious talks do involve EVs, and current contract proposals by the company are expected to be more expensive than those in years past. That's putting it lightly. The UAW, which represents workers at Orion Assembly, did not immediately respond for comment. The production delays call into question GM's previously announced EV goals, including cumulative production of 400,000 EVs in North America from 2022 through mid-2024, which had already been pushed back. GM also has a goal to exclusively offer consumer EVs by 2035. If that is their goal, they will not be in business by 2035. A GM spokesman late Tuesday said there's currently no change in plans to the company's EV production targets. New electric versions of the Silverado and Sierra that were supposed to be produced at Orion Assembly will be assembled at GM's Factory Zero in Detroit, the company said. Limited production of the Silverado EV is underway, while the Sierra is scheduled to begin next year. Finally, after many delays caused a few eyebrows to raise, Lucid just announced they delivered a whopping 1,457 vehicles in Q3, up by 3.8% versus Q2, and up a staggering 4.2% year over year. That's not 42, that's 4.2. Nice. Q3 production, however, was 1,550, down 29% versus Q2. That's not good, especially with such small numbers. That's really, really not good. In August, Lucid reiterated they would produce 10,000 vehicles this year, but through the end of Q3, they've only produced 6,037. Well, want to know more, Joey? Now, more on this from ForwardCap. Lucid's delivery numbers are a disaster. So check this out. Q3 2022, 1,398. The next quarter, 1,932. Progress. However, Q1 2023, a massive decline, 1,406. Q2, 1,404. And Q3, 1,457. What the f***? A follow-up post here on X from ForwardCap. In its SPAC deck, which you guys will remember me roasting relentlessly at the time, Lucid projected, by the way, let's just be honest here, blatantly lied to investors. There was no way they ever thought they'd achieve this. It was total bullshit. Again, go fact check me. I called it at the time. Went through this whole deck. I'm like, bro, this is just a massive trap for dumbasses who think Lucid is the next Tesla. Not going to end well. These are absurdly high. Lucid projected 49,000 deliveries in 2023. Through the first 3 quarters, they've delivered 4,267. I'm not very good at math, but they're not even at 10% of their original goal. If they pull off a miracle, maybe they might get to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe even 15% of their original supposed goal, which was, again, always bullshit at the time. Check out this repost from June 14th, 2022. Lucid reached a peak market cap of $105 billion. Oh, God damn it. Where are we today? $11.41 billion. I mean, again, I called this at the time. Go fact check me. Just search Lucid. Or the bell curve is real. Some combination thereof. I made quite a few videos roasting the morons, diving into this stock based on these ridiculous projections. The lesson, of course, is you can't fix stupid. A lot of people got mad in the comments. You're just a Tesla fanboy. Why can't Lucid succeed too? You're so deluded, bro. Just because it isn't an Elon company doesn't mean they're not going to be the next Tesla. You're a loser, bro. Fuck you. Lucid to the moon. Anyway, after projecting $2.2 billion in revenue this year, growing to $22.8 billion by 2026. Now, check this out. Okay? 2023, Lucid was projecting 49,000 deliveries. In 2022, they were projecting 20,000. Fact check, where are we at today? Just over 4,000 delivered for the full year. Yet they were, quote unquote, projecting over 20,000 a year earlier. Absurd. I wonder how this 90,000 for 2024 is going to hold up. 135,000 for 2025 and $250,000 in 2026, if they're even in business then. Once again, I'm just going to say it. Rest in fucking peace, Lucid. And I hope all the dumbasses who thought they were investors when in fact they were gambling on the stock have learned a financially valuable lesson. Hope is not a strategy. Farzad posted this excellent chart here on Twitter. Production in red, deliveries in blue. This is problematic. The trend started out fine. 3 quarters, beautiful trend upwards. Around 1,500, just over 2,000, over 3,000, and then just over 2,000, just over 2,000, 1,500. Unlike Ford, with their F-150 Lightning, which did have some reasons, shutdowns, recalls, and so on, what the f*** have Lucid been doing? Oh, that's right. Throwing the hands up in the air because Tesla continues to make their products compelling and better. It turns out that there's not a very big market for extremely expensive electric vehicles when there's extremely compelling, exceptional value electric vehicles produced by Tesla. Now, if Tesla did not exist, I'm sure Lucid would be doing a little bit better, but they do. See, here's the thing. You might pay double the price for a Lucid and get about 15% more features, functionality, performance, except of course the software sucks shit, but you want a bit more range? Cool. Pay double the price. Lucid's plan seems to be charged twice as much as Tesla for a few percent more performance in some situations, but be unable to compete with Tesla's operating system, their OS, their software, their features, their functionality, and the over-the-air software updates. Again, rest in peace, Lucid. Not going to end well. An extremely disturbing chart. In the third quarter of 2023, Lucid delivered 1,457 vehicles, showing a whopping 4% growth from the previous quarter. This growth is significantly below their best performing quarter in 2022, where they delivered 1,932 vehicles. As of September 2023, now by the way guys, I almost had to go double check, make sure you're sitting down for this. Lucid has produced a total of 8,761 vehicles since the beginning of their delivery operations. Were you listening? Since first deliveries began, Lucid has produced a total of 8,761 vehicles. Unbelievable. I mean, this is just embarrassing. I swear, I've produced almost as many videos in that time. I'm not even exaggerating by that much. This is deeply disturbing. Now, can someone tell me what exactly happened in Q1 2023 that may explain a significant drop in Lucid production and deliveries? What could have happened? Oh, that's right. Massive Tesla price cuts globally, which they've sustained. If you thought that was bad, looks even worse when compared to others. We're looking at 8 quarters after the commencement of sales for different automotive manufacturers, including Tesla, Polestar, XPeng, Leapmotor, Rivian, Neo, and Lucid. So cumulative number of vehicles sold since the start of deliveries, the first 8 quarters for each of these companies. We'll zoom in a little bit. Tesla always fucks these charts and it makes it hard to see the others. Combine Model 3 and Model Y, towering over everything else. Again, it's almost like you produce one category killer per category and you kill it. Polestar doing okay, but again, it's not comparable. Xpeng, again, not comparable. Leap Motor, not comparable. Rivian, not comparable. Model S and X, Tesla's own products, again, not comparable. Because relative to the 3 and Y, they just don't offer great value. I mean, I'm sure if you can afford an S and X, you want to play Elden Ring in it, great, buy it. But Tesla is cannibalizing their own products because the relative value of the 3 and Y is just absurd. And Lucid, what even is this? I mean, seriously, first 8 quarters of deliveries, right? These aren't recent. This is since the company started delivering vehicles. How quickly have they ramped deliveries of those vehicles? Ay. More proof that the competition is in fact coming all over itself, not for Tesla. And obviously, you guys can see that Tesla's advertising campaign started approximately in their 3rd quarter of Model 3 and Y deliveries. That's why they've gone to the moon. Oh wait, they didn't. That never happened. It's almost like making more of them and making them better and cheaper and more compelling that would happen. How curious. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. Athletic Greens AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. Athletic Greens AG1 is an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a fuck ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. It certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point and something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy. Wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1, is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it. You'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, This is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, Snake Oil Salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. And remember, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee. There's nothing to lose here. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link at the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon, and don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.